Well, welcome back to fpvguy.com. Today I got a box from CNChelicopter.com. Everything is .com these days. And it's the new product from Jeff over at CNC Helicopter. It is his ready-to-fly 3-axis gimbal. And that thing is, there should be a price here somewhere, $240. I mean, how can you go wrong with a 3-axis gimbal for $240? And more importantly, it says in big red text, do not try to adjust this. It is ready to fly from the factory. And if you guys are anything like me, you have been building a whole bunch of these things. Here's one kind of misguided concept here. Took me forever to build it, and then there was just a little bit of adjustment required. Kept adjusting. I was never happy. $240 ready to fly. That is really what I'm excited about. Alright, it's certainly a huge box and taped up pretty good. News. Well, alright. The box was smaller than anticipated from the outside. Throw that away and let's get into the next box. What would the world be without X-Acto knives? Here we go. Well, that's certainly packaged nicely. I don't need that box anymore. Here we go. Lots of bubble wrap. Bubble wrap's a good thing. So this is like really the antithesis to the Stella gimbal. The Stella was incredibly refined, came in beautiful Apple-like boxes. It was, and still is, a brilliant gimbal, by the way. But here is loose weight in a plastic bag, in bubble wrap, a somewhat large gimbal. Here's 3-axis gimbal, notice. The top rotates, the roll rotate, and the pitch rotates. So I'm going to put this down for a second and look at the rest of what's in here. Here is a manual. It's definitely loose weight, I see. And there you have it. That's the entire manual. So make sure it has the correct voltage. The gimbal working voltage is 11 to 12.6, so it should be a 3S battery. If you're using over 3S, make sure you get the Super PMU. And it actually has, oh, there, it has an option for, that I think should be on the website. It has a dedicated PMU for this gimbal. I would certainly have bought that if there had been a link and a reminder right there. Alright, so it says install the GoPro and plug it in and get going. So that's what I'm gonna do. You guys timing me? Here is that. I have a GoPro. I always fly without the back door. Sometimes I have to put it on with these pre-balanced gimbals. And here is the gimbal mount here. It's just basically 4 taps down here in the bottom. And then this little thing is going to swing over and hold my camera in place. So I'm going to put this in. And that feels a bit tight. There it goes. And I'm sure I should be adjusting this with a screwdriver. There. But I'm going to just do it by finger since we're not quite flying yet. So here it is. That was how long it took me to get the camera in. One of the great features compared to a lot of ready-to-fly gimbals these days is I can actually see, I can get to all the ports on the end of this GoPro. So I can, most importantly, I can get to the SD card without having to remove it from the gimbal. As far as I'm concerned, that's a major benefit. And I can also plug in cables easily for my flight controller or for my camera if I want to use a video downlink. Typically I use a flight camera to avoid, if in case the GoPro freezes or something, I don't want to be without video. But that's just me. Let's keep looking at this. Up on top here they have dampers in here. They made this very compact actually for a 3-axis. And you can see how this shifts around. It has little dampers in here. They feel to me a little bit tight. I'm kind of for compression. This is a compression dampening. For compression dampening, I really like the dampers used on the Stella. But hey, for $5 I could buy the back of those and throw those in instead if it becomes an issue. It has a JST power. We already know what the power is. And one of the things with a Chinese gimbal, it is surprisingly well installed. The cables are all neatly tucked away here. Nothing's gonna get caught on anything. So this is well prepared, and it is in perfect balance. It's not going anywhere whenever I set it somewhere. Well, I said that too early maybe. There. Anyway, this looks like it's gonna work. So up here we have a total of 4 control lines. The one is from the mode. I'm cheating. I'm looking at the manual cheat sheet right now. So they are basically, no, the first cable out is mode, then yaw, then tilt, and then roll. Personally, I only use tilt on these things because I fly first person view and I want follow mode. So I just use the yaw to dampen my actual, as I yaw a little bit, I want yaw dampening so it becomes nice and smooth, because especially if you do a long push into something, your aircraft is going to do a little bit of yawing as you fly, and you want to make sure the camera is locked in. Besides, if I ever fly, sometimes I remove the landing gear and have a camera operator move this and do a pan or something as required. When I do that, I always use a small Valkyra receiver, because Valkyra has that little radios with built-in video screens, and my operator used one of those. So if that's the case, I'll plug this into that one. But not for me. I'm only going to use the tilt. So here we have it. What I'm going to do, let's get this fired up. And of course, I already brought a 11-volt battery to see if this works. I can't really hold it still enough, so I'm just going to leave it on the table here for a second. Of course, you guys can't see anything, so let me grab a box. There. We have a box. And here's the camera. And I'm leaving it here, so the most important thing is that the IMU do not move during initialization. It may also need to be level, but that's a little harder to see. So it's fired up. We got a light. We got a blue light down here. I have no idea if that's good or bad. And I think we are fired up. So there we go. Well, and just like that. It is definitely yaw dampening. The usual things work, and the most important thing I'm seeing right now, I've been yawing this about 90 degrees and I see no roll. So as far as I'm concerned, it has passed the most important test right here. Of course, you'll never know till we actually hang this on a copter. The other thing you'll notice right now is this has ex-aircraft hangers. Comes on it already from the out of the box, so it's ready to go on one of my rigs. But notice it's sideways. That's because whatever angle it has when you start it up is gonna be its working angle. So you want to make sure when you plug the power in that this is facing perfectly straight forward with your aircraft, and that's where it's gonna stay and do its dampening. Isn't this cool though? Let me turn this a little bit. You can get to enjoy the dampening a little bit. You can really see it here. It's staying on me, but I am twisting away. And when I come down here, it starts auto vibrating. Let's try to go this way. And here it does too. And it gives you about 45 degrees roll. And really, if your aircraft is flying with more than 45 degrees roll, you're going fast, and $240 gimbals is probably not your main concern. Anyway, so it's a big gimbal, but I actually think it's a really nice gimbal myself. This looks nice. It seems big, but when everything is said and done, having some more weight in this system most likely also allows it to do better. Now, I've already seen some pictures of this flying under Phantoms. I'm not going to be using it on a Phantom. I'm going to be using it on a Hexa. And like I said, the great thing here is it comes with X-Aircraft clips on them. Rail clips, I think they're called. So this is the legs I'm going to use it on. And let's try to mount it right here. This is my personal modified S800 mount. I made these clips here so I can clip and unclip the battery kit here. Here the battery goes in on its side right here. I've got a flight camera out here, so my entire payload package is right here. So I'm gonna grab this. These things are in the front, all these cables. For right now I'm just gonna pull them back, and then this goes on one side. And it comes up. Well, that was easy. And there is the camera installed. And I'm going to bring that back up so you can see. And you can see this is, I printed these dampers and these clips. They're very affirmative. Here's another set of dampers, and finally holds the pipe down here. Works absolutely great. So we have these, and just for the fun of it, let's plug it back in again. So the thing I said to make sure about is that this is facing straight forward when you plug it in. And I'm usually flying with a 6X battery, so I'm obviously going to need a BEC here. And it's facing forward. There it goes. I really love when stuff works because it's so embarrassing to record a video and nothing works. So here we have it. It is on the S800 base, and it is definitely, it's working. I think I'm gonna like this thing. So for $240, I now have a 3-axis gimbal that clips right into my existing rail mount, and literally is plug and play. And I love that it says on the website, do not edit any settings. Leave it as it is. If it doesn't work, contact the distributor. I mean, what's more to say? This thing is working, or it looks like it's working. So the next thing I'm going to do, of course, is take this base, stick my S800 on top, and go fly it. And I'm going to get some video and go to my fpvguy.com, to my website. And because in this post, further down in the post, I'm going to post some flight video with this, probably in the morning or something. Now, you cannot talk a DJI S800 without also keeping in mind that these things were actually born for much bigger gimbals. This is the gimbal I usually use with that. This is for a GH2 and a GH3 camera. So it is a huge gimbal, to put it bluntly, and it's very heavy. This one is currently being put on a much bigger DJI aircraft, but that's a different story. What I really want to show you, since 99% of video being shot today doesn't really need this. What it really needs is a GoPro with a ribcage modification to get rectilinear lens images, and that camera can be mounted on this gimbal. This is a $3,000 gimbal, and this is a $250 gimbal, doing 90% of the work of this one. I'm not saying it's better than a Zenmuse. I mean, don't quote me on that, because I'm sure it's not. But I am saying for $250, it's amazing what you can get in a 3-axis gimbal today compared to what was available 2 years ago. So that's what I'm saying. So one more quick look. This comes with the 4 cables in place. I'll probably yank some of these out since I only use the pitch anyway. It seems to have a pretty effective compression dampening scheme right here. It's hard to see really in a video, but you can see this floats really nicely there. And here is really the premium feature, the yaw dampening. See that little movement I'm doing with my hand? It's completely dampened out. And that's the kind of movement you want to dampen out when you're flying with a quad. So this is ideal, and I have seen pictures of this already on Phantom, so this will fly on a Phantom. It will also fly under a 350X Pro from Valkyrie, or any one of the 650X aircraft pieces or airframes, or of course any other large or turret airframes. This will fly on it perfectly. So $240 from CNChelicopters.com. CNC is one of the suppliers I don't actually hear about a lot, but I use them all the time because they've got all kinds of great little pieces, like ex-aircraft pieces. They've got extra carbon pipes. They've got all kinds of stuff that I constantly order. And because I'm in California, I typically get stuff next day. So when Jeff mentioned this, I thought this is could be a really, really cool little gimbal. And I was kind of thinking, you know, $240, chances are this may not work right. It turns out I'm wrong. This thing works really nicely. I'm impressed. The price is right. The function looks like it's right. And I can't wait to take it flying. So come back for the flight video, and I'll see you guys again soon.